for the cash grant or the handout, whatever you might want to call it. You know, after all the misappropriation of public funds, inflating contracts by 300% and 400%, giving money freely to your friends and family, now suddenly you want to pick up the scraps and bring it to impress the rest of the population. I don't think I want such indignity. I don't want to be demoralized and betrayed by a rogue government. Do you know that the handout that Ali announced is a distraction? Do you know when he was at the United Nations the last time, he sold you? Ali did not object to a bill that was tabled by the United Nations, the WHO at the United Nations. He did not object. And by not objecting, you agreed. You recall earlier this year, the WHO had a vote whereby they had wanted to control global health in the event of a pandemic or an emergency, and they failed miserably. Well, that bill was brought back in a closed session, but it did not require a vote, and Ali did not object. For a long time now, after the government started borrowing money from other big governments and big financial institutions, we have lost our sovereignty. This nation is not a democracy anymore. There are three systems here in operation. The most important of them is kleptocracy, where the people you put in power use that power to channel all the resources of the nation to their friends and family and themselves. Then there's cryptocracy, the silence of the government, no paper trail. They're working secretly with organizations and governments. And there's plutocracy, where a few big businessmen in this nation come together with outsiders. They don't even know who, and they're playing businessmen. 3, plutocracy, cryptocracy, and kleptocracy. No democracy and kleptocracy. No democracy. You have no rights. You know the biggest lie that was told this year? After Donald Trump won the election in the United States, the ballot creature announced that he would find ways to work with the Trump administration. You know, you talk about Bozo the clown, you are a dunce, not only a clown, because you see, to be a clown calls for artistry, talent. You ain't got none. You are just a blunt dunce. You don't work with Washington, never worked with Washington. You work for Washington. If you were working with Washington, you wouldn't have to complain that people calling you racist. You would say, hey, this is for you, here's what I want. You don't have to complain. Boys complain. You know, you get Ali like a real fool. Ali talking one Guyana. I don't even know up to now what one Guyana is all about. I've never heard such nonsense. Nothing annoys me more than when you hear one Guyana and one communicate. What the hell is that? Ali talking one Guyana and you going about telling people walk behind the opposition and chase them. Ali talking one Guyana and employ a bald-headed creature who is a racist. You talking one Guyana and you put a racist in control of the nation's finances and everything else. You talking one Guyana and going to the British. That's Ali asking for reparation. You think the British doesn't know that you selected a racist to run your nation? From Westminster to Capitol Hill, know that Jack Dew is a racist. You talking one Guyana, and when the Afro-Guyanese have a celebration, you have your own celebration, pulling away, trying to separate the Afro-Guyanese population. I'm talking about emancipation. That's an Afro-Guyanese celebration. Indo-Guyanese were never slaves. You were conned. The British conned you, promised you a better life, and brought you here and put you in low G's. One Guyana. Such nonsense. You guys are so dunce. You guys are so dunce. You don't even know the difference between government and state. I heard Nandalal talking the other day that if you find oil in your land, it belongs to the state. Do you know that the Kaichur and Kanji blocks that you all sold without no paper trail belongs to the damn state? Or you could go to jail? Do you know the land that Jack Dew is living there right now? You manipulated the system, used your power, and stole the state land. Then you used taxpayers' money to move the signal tower. Are you telling me you guys are not a bunch of thieves and liars and manipulators? Rogue government. You all need to go back to school. Let me give you an example of what a statesman is. Go to Myconia, a place named Quakers. There's a man named Kurban, owned the rice factory. I think he's deceased now, but his relatives are there. You know the canal along the sea line? Mr. Kurban did not want the excavator to dig the canal through his land, and Burnham went up there. Personally, that's how politicians work. He didn't send the police to intimidate anybody. He went up there and called Mr. Kurban aside. And he said, Mr. Kurban, I need this canal to pass through your land. It's leased land. It belongs to the state. Before I get to the city, I must hear that the excavator, it was a leave here. I must hear that the excavator start working. And he walked away, entered his vehicle, and they drove away. The phone rang 7 times. He went to the Myconi station, and the phone rang 7 times before Burnham got into the city. He did not use the police. And you talk about the police? For 160 years, that institution called the police force protected this nation. Burnham never interfered with the police. and the army. For 160 years, then along came Jack Dew, and he paired the police with criminals and started what he called extrajudicial killing. But it was not extrajudicial killing, it was ethnic cleansing. He unalived Afro-Guyanese only. Imagine if Granger or Desmond Lloyd had done something like that, paired the police with criminals to kill Indo-Guyanese men. What would have been said by the PPP government? What would they have said by the PPP party? Sorry. You know, I looked at the statement made by Cherry Jagan at the Travel Lodge in Canada, and you all are scrubbing the internet of all the ills of the PPP. No.